ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're all having a great and wonderful day. Well, it seems that Compton is being stricken by a huge rampant amount of crime, and it ain't looking too great here. As you can see, this is something that's been going on in Compton. Look at the stores. They're not doing too great. And I find it hilarious because if you go and look here, the last video that I made from, that says a store from the store owner that evacuating from San Francisco, and this guy Jewel Jim here is pretty much just saying, oh, well, the store owner didn't leave due to crime. He left due to escalating rent, insurance, labor costs, utilities, healthcare, and the emptiness of the city. Due to remote work from COVID, basically, they didn't accept the responsibilities of running a legit business with employees' protections, so they blamed it on crime. Well, that's funny, because what's happening here is that this is exactly what's going on. This is crime. They are locking it up. Also, here's another thing as well that you don't seem to be understanding. You see this here? Well, this looks very similar to what happened in San Francisco, and this seems very, very similar what is going on in Compton to San Francisco. So, buddy, I think you should probably chill and lay out of this one because you're out of your depth. So, without further ado, let's continue on what's really going on in this whole scenario at Compton.
Certain items, but one Southern California store is putting everything behind lock and key. Is this a sign of things to come for shoppers, or are stores going too far when it comes to protecting themselves from thieves? Eyewitness News reporter Michelle Fisher talking to shoppers tonight.
It feels weird when you walk in there. Yeah, really uncomfortable.
Yeah, so immediately right off the bat, they're talking about thieves and robbing and stuff like that. But according to the other guy in the comment section, that's not happening. It's not due to crime. Well, it is due to crime. And what you're going to find out here is that this ABC, that this news outlet is going to be talking to multiple citizens here, multiple residents that are living there, and one person not really being too surprised about this because of the huge amount of theft and crime that's been happening in Compton in general. And what another thing here is, and we have to point out thing because it's adorable, is that this kid here, you see this kid, he is happy, he's chattering up a storm, he is having a good time. So let's play a little bit of praise to the kid here because he is flat out adorable.
The inside of this Rite Aid in Compton is unlike any store Eduardo Ramirez has seen.
The only thing that's not locked up is the drinks. But that's it. Yeah, everything else is locked up. But yeah, it's weird, man.
From skincare products and candy to beer and breakfast cereal, almost the entire location at the corner of East Compton and North Long Beach Boulevard is locked behind glass cases. Customers forced to ring for help.
Now I gotta press the button and wait about 10 minutes to 7 minutes for them to come and help me, and they come moody.
But Roy...
Now, another resident that they end up talking to here is pretty much clarifying, like, okay, well, I have to go ring a button. It takes around 7-10 minutes, and they're angry that they have to go and deal with this kid and their problems or whatever because they can't get anything. Which, I can understand the frustration. And I understand the frustration by just going to my local Walmart, and I have to press a button because, again, when you're in California, you gotta get used to crime. You gotta get used to actual things happening in your local stores, and they have to lock certain things up because if they don't do that, well, they'll just steal it, and you have to, and guess what? The public has to pay the price. So you press the button, and you have to wait. Yes, 3 minutes, sometimes 5 minutes. Hell, I remember waiting 20 minutes for somebody to come and help me get an item because it's locked behind something. So if you need to go and get medicine or whatever at a specific time or whatever, that can really mess with you because, again, you have to wait until the employees or the other people come and help you. And the crime is honestly affecting the people that are there, the normal customers that are there, trying to get to go about their daily lives, and the stores have to lock these things up, these very important items up, because the theft and the crime is just so bad.
Barocio, who comes to this location often, tells me he noticed the changes several weeks ago, but says he understands why things have come to this.
Especially around here, respectfully, people don't care. They would just walk in there and grab whatever they want and walk away because they know the coworkers are not going to follow them. So I'm pretty sure the business, they're just trying to be ahead of the game.
As retailers like Rite Aid are increasingly taking matters into their own hands to stop thieves, the governor, meantime, praising California's organized retail crime task force.
Okay, so there's a few things that we have to go down here. Now, the guy says, as I said before, said he understands the situation, why they're here. They're just trying to get ahead of the game. They're trying to prevent other crime and people from going on because the crime is just so heavily bad. And it's like, they go out and they simply just don't care on what happens. They don't do anything, and they just go in there, take what they want, because obviously you can go and steal up to $1,000 in California and not be punished for the crime. And I had one person say, well, in Texas, it's up to $2,500, and, well, even though it might be up to $2,000, regardless of the situation is, you still get put in jail despite the fact that you don't steal up to a crime. Because, again, it's a felony as considered grand theft in Texas. But in California, it's considered a misdemeanor here, and they don't normally put you in jail. So that's the reason why. They don't feel threatened. They don't feel like there's a problem here to go and steal, because, again, who's going to punish them? The police? No, they're just going to drop them. They're just going to release them out. Oh, who's going to punish them? The DA? The DA is just going to just say, oh, it's just a petty crime. Slap on the wrist, and there you go. Go out, honey. Go out and steal more, and that's what's happening in California. And, of course, the governor, Gavin Newsom, this guy here, the great overlord of California, is praising that the task force is doing a great job. Yet, we have here in San Francisco, Oakland, and Compton, where all these stores have these locked up places. Yeah, it's really doing a good job, Gavin.
Which made 171 arrests in August, recovering 26,415 items worth $547,000. The task force, led by the California Highway Patrol this year so far, making 1,055 arrests, recovering more than $7.8 million worth of stolen goods.
Now, there's a few things that I have to go over here, right? A few things that I think everybody needs to be enlightened on before we even say, oh, hip hip hooray, they're doing these arrests. Now, the problem being is that, yes, they might be doing the arrests. You might have recovered 26,000 stolen properties worth of $540,000, and you may have recovered over a time span of $8 million since January, but the one big thing you need to understand here is arrests. Now, normally when you talk about arrests, you normally think, well, these people are being jailed, these people are, put in prison or something, and that's it. We're actually doing a good job. But the problem here is that these people may be arrested, but the DAs will immediately release them anyways. So they go back and go redo the crime in the first place. That's the one thing that they don't actually go and tell you. Because, again, you can do all the arrests in the world. You can do all the arrests that you want. Like, say, for instance, you go arrest a child grabber or murderer, but if they don't go and get put in jail, it means nothing. So the arrest means that they get arrested, but it doesn't mean they were prosecuted or behind bars because, well, they were just arrested. They weren't actually prosecuted for anything. It's the same here when we go down to the actual people being arrested for theft or for any of this stuff. They don't actually get put in jail by the DAs, because the DAs have to prosecute these people and bring up charges against these people in order for them to actually be accountable for their actions. And as the kid said, they don't care. They just go and steal whatever they want because they don't think they're actually going to be punished, because they get arrested but they get released out in jail again. This is the reason why crime in California, or a lot of these woke cities, a lot of these democratic cities, is so high. It's because they arrest these people, but they still release them anyways, and that's a huge problem. Now, let's go out and see what's been going on here on the outside of the issue. Now, that we have Amazon here, right? This great company. Now, Amazon is where you can go online and just order things whenever the heck you want and wait for it to come to your home. Obviously, you guys know this. You have most likely use Amazon. But the point being is that these stores are in competition with Amazon. And if the stores, you have to go into the stores in order to wait 7-10 minutes, perhaps longer like I did sometimes at 20 minutes to go get an item, then that means that people are going to opt out and say, hey, I'm not going to go to these stores anymore. I'm not going to this store tomorrow anymore because I have to wait at least 10 minutes to go get an item that I shouldn't have to wait 10 minutes for. I'm just going to go order off of Amazon and I can have it within a few hours here and not waste my time. Or prepare it before a day before and you'll have it anyways. So that means that these stores are going to close even further because people are going to run away from these stores because they have to take in time to wait. And Amazon gets more rich because of the crime. It's almost like it's orchestrated for these stores to actually fail, while the conglomerates, the huge companies like Amazon, can easily win over them because they just have to order online. It's really quite disgusting what's going on here, and they lie to you and trying to say there's arrests happening, but in all reality, they're not doing anything.
Now, we did reach out to Rite Aid to ask what prompted the measures and whether or not they're store specific or perhaps something we might see rolling out at other locations across the state. At the time of this report, however, we have not yet heard back.
So the lady here says that they contacted Rite Aid, the official, and say if this is across the state issue or across more likely the countrywide issue, and they haven't heard back. Well, the thing is, it is only going to be in particular spaces such as places as like, California, San Francisco, Portland, Oregon, not San Francisco, New York, Portland, Oregon, and these far left or closer to Democratic places, even in red states where there's more strongly held in Democratic areas that are in the red states, it's going to be where this is going to be a bigger problem, where this is going to be where Rite Aid and many other stores are going to have a higher influence of crime, where there's going to be more of these things being locked up. Whereas if you go across the country where there are crimes where people are actually being punished for the crimes that they commit, it's not going to happen. You're going to have a great time at Rite Aid. You're going to have a great time being there, and you won't have to worry about your stuff being locked up. But in other parts of the country, it is a huge issue, it's a huge problem, and of course, the media will never talk about this stuff, because again, it doesn't fit the narrative that they want to push, so that way they can elect another Democratic mayor for whatever reason. I don't even know what's the actual reason for it, besides these big media companies giving these people, or these news outlets, millions of dollars, so that way they can fill it. Borders like, oh, I'm getting $1 million a year. I guess I'll just fly so I can keep on getting this money. And that's just reality. So again, I want you guys to know in the comment section below what you guys actually think. What are you experiencing in your towns? Or what is going on in your places if you're in the Democratic state, and what do you experience and what do you see there? Because I know when I go walk out of my place and wherever I go in other stores, it's locked up. These are locked up. I can't access them. So maybe you guys are experiencing the same thing, maybe you're not. Write down in the comments below and let me know what your thoughts. Okay guys, that's it for the video. Like, subscribe, share. As always, take care, my friends.
I'm disgusted by what I see in public. Even people closest to us can't be trusted, because it's algorithmic disease, the social media.